Good morning, everyone. I took it back apart and I did order another finger. I don't know what they call that. Number 14. Release finger. That's right. That is a release finger. Now, I ordered the one from 39. They changed in 75 when they decided to go with the teeny tiny throwout bearing. And the newer one has a wider gap in between there. You see that? That's a narrow gap. So that would have a problem getting in there. So I have the right set of fingers. That will not fit in there. And the other one is pointed on the end. Unlike this one, which is 75 and up and has to have a clip. So, I think the parts are all right. Maybe these pads are worn. But what I will do, I'll see when I'm going to put it back together just like it was. Putting the yellow mark, that was facing out. I tried it on the side, turning the shaft, and I tried it on the back, and each was kind of a little bit worse. So I might put a little bit of weld and then go over and grind it a little bit. Of course, you do something a little bit here causes a large amount somewhere else. It's like the farther away. You can hold something close, but it's tough to hold the same weight further away. As my somewhat understanding is, you do something small here, it causes a big reaction way over here. So I don't need to put a big bump on those two. But for right now, I'm just going to put it back to how it was. And I'll probably put the original throwout bearing. Is this it? No, this is the other one. But yeah, this one has a smaller hole. So this one is more worn. But it's smoother. You can tell. This is the one that was in there with the rubbing on it. And this one fits deeper in the pocket. And only this is what sticks into the finger. And then it sits down into here. So this part stays stationary. That part spins. And so we'll put it back to like that. Put it back together. I've had it apart so many times, it is actually becoming relatively easy. I use, because you actually have to get the little bump on this side. So that's where the kicker stops. So I just put a vice grip on there. And then I put a vice grip. I put a small one here to bring this peg where it should be. And then I clip this here so this one holds this one from going back, because you have to go back this way and get it so it just goes on the top, because that's where it stops, so it doesn't go all the way around. So using those two pair of vice grips gets it easier to put this in there, because I also have this on there at the same time. I don't have to. I've taken it apart enough. It's not sloppy or anything, but originally I had to really tap to get this off, and now it goes on pretty decent. Wiggles its little butt down there and sits there, but it's not bent or straight. Now, do I need to I don't have another one of these, so I don't know. Should it be curved slightly toward the starter, or should it be straight? It looks straight in the pictures, but they're just pictures, They're just pictures. I don't think it has it here. No, it doesn't show it. But in 15 came out in 38. So 15 is the stud release lever finger shaft. How nice. The stud release lever finger shaft. 38. They had an upgrade. A. Wonder what heck happened to regular 38. They found out it fell off. I don't know. But anytime there's an A, B, or C, that means they did something. They found a better metal, a better way. Somehow, something is different in this shaft. I don't know why there'd be a little hole in the top. Maybe just to hold it when they made it, in the lathe. It could be. Wish I had a little lathe. I don't have a lathe, but I don't have the room for anything else. It's getting... Chuck was able to, he gave me, that came from the school. I gave it to him when the school closed, and then he redid his garage, so he gave me that and that, which holds my oil. That's my original one. So that was good. I've got a lot of parts and stuff in there, so that's pretty good. But I'm just out of wall space. I'm out of wall space. I did some work for a guy once, and he bought a house up in Michigan. And the old man he had a heck of a, mine is nothing to what he had. But it wasn't motorcycles, I forget what it was. And they were going to have a sale, and the friend of mine, he was a hydraulics engineer. I learned quite a bit from him. At least I tried. He says, no, I will buy the garage just as sets. Don't do anything with it. He just bought it, and it was great because, like I say, he liked to tinker and stuff. He was making dune buggies, hydraulic dune buggies at the time. And he was going to make up these kits where he would sell everything but the motor, and all you would need would be some type of gas motor. It would hook up. It would drive a hydraulic pump, which would drive all the wheels. It was interesting, but I think he made a prototype, but he found out how much insurance you had when you made something that you sold to somebody that was mechanical and like a car, and how much lawyer ease and all this kind of stuff. So it never went anywhere, but he really liked his dune buggies. But that's about all I can think that I'm going to be doing with this, putting it back original. I'm going to see when I get that other little finger. Like I say, it does have a wider gap. And I think that even though it says, it's aftermarket, so they just, it looks pretty rough, It's like buying a part from somewhere and then you've got to finish it. They sand cast it and you got to pick the sand off of it. I remember my father was in the steel industry. He made gray iron sewer grates and anything made out of nodular or gray iron. And that's a very rough casting. And then you can finish it. You can tumble it in a tumbler. When you have something that's 30 by 30 feet with things in it and all these castings tumbling, it was noisy. And back then, this was in the 60s, nobody wore ear protection. Lucky anybody could hear anything. But anyway, that's how I'm going to stick it back together. And I think the next step, I'll take a look once I take it apart again when I get the other finger, see if there's any difference. If there's not, I'm just going to put a couple dobs of weld on there and bring that arm back closer to the starter where it should be. And I think that's going to solve the problem of practically no adjustment left on the clutch cable. So that's it. Like I say, first time I took it apart, took forever. And then now it's getting much better at it. And then I'll put it all back together. So at least it's easier to see and get in here and stuff. And but I took the ferrule off. That all that did was, I almost had to have tension on this, which you're supposed to screw the screw in there, screw it in, then back it off a half or quarter turn so there's no tension on the throwout bearing. I had to have tension on the throwout bearing, otherwise you couldn't get it in neutral. And this thing goes into neutral between first and second and first. When it's adjusted, I mean, this is the tranny is great. You do first, second, it does shift a little smoother if you lift up, and then you can use the heel for third and fourth. But yeah, I couldn't. It was a real struggle to get it here because it was bumping into the top of the tranny. So doing one little thing or trying to cheat something by not really getting to the root of the problem, in this case, didn't work well. So, well, have a great holiday, everybody. Take her easy and stay safe. Bye-bye.